Hey guys, let's talk about eczema. For some of us, it's a daily or at least seasonal struggle, and for others, it's just constant and never seems to go away. Some people get it in specific spots, and other people get it just all over. And as people who have it know, it can be very itchy, and when you scratch it, not only does it make it feel worse, it also can make it spread. And so I think that personally is pretty rude because it's already bad enough. But I started to develop eczema a few years ago, just out of the blue, and I would consistently get it on like the back of my hands and my wrists, and it got pretty bad for a while, and it was cold, and I was using soap that was too harsh for my skin and too drying, and I wasn't consistently using lotion or anything like that to moisturize because my skin usually is pretty good about not getting too dry, except in certain spots like knees, elbows. That's mostly it. But my doctor said to start using lotion, like just in general. And I tried that, and it didn't really seem to make a difference. And I also didn't really like the thin, almost watery texture of it. It just didn't feel like it was really doing anything. And I would put it on after each time I washed my hands, and it didn't really seem to make a difference. And so the doctor recommended a couple specific brands that aren't, it wasn't like prescription creams or anything. It was just regular over the counter lotions, but there were specific ones that have, like, I guess it was certain things in them that are good for eczema, or they're just more moisturizing, supposedly. But I tried those. One of them I tried burned when I put it on, and so I immediately washed that one off and never used it again. Another one that I tried didn't burn, but it didn't really seem like it made a difference still. And I tried it for a while, and it just seemed like it wasn't making it any better. I did try switching soap to a Castile soap, which is more gentle and it doesn't dry your skin out as much. And that helped, but still only a little bit. And it was still red and raw and cracked and itchy all the time. And for people who know me, you know that I can't not scratch like anything. Scabs, anything itchy, mosquito bites, I can't leave it alone. And so it just was a mess, you guys. And so finally, since nothing that the doctor was recommending was helping, and I didn't want to use a steroid cream, I did, from what I can remember, I did try it out for a little while, and it did mostly make it go away. But you can only use it for a certain amount of time because you're not supposed to be on steroids for a long time. And so I couldn't keep using it, and I also didn't want to because I'm sure that's not good for your body to be on steroids. And so I started looking into natural ways to treat eczema and ended up experimenting and making my own body butter out of coconut oil and shea butter. And I would add different essential oils for different scents, but those aren't necessary. You can do it just with the coconut oil and shea butter and just unscented, and that's fine. I tried that out, and I don't remember exactly how long it took, but I'm pretty sure it was like a matter of days, and it just cleared up, like completely. And I was surprised because nothing else that I had tried had made very much of a difference at all. And then it was just gone. I was like, what? How did this happen? But I was really excited about it. And so I started putting some on every time I washed my hands. I'd wash my hands, dry them most of the way, and then put some on because I had read that it's good to put it on your skin when it's still a little bit damp because then it helps seal the moisture in. And so I would do that every time I would wash my hands at home, at least. I didn't take it with me, but so every time at home, wash my hands, dry them most of the way, and then put a little bit of body butter on. It only takes like just a little bit, and it goes a long way. And I do that every single time, and it completely cleared up. and kept my skin just from getting too dry in general. And I kept using it for a while, and then eventually I was like, okay, I don't really feel like putting this on anymore because I don't really like putting on lotion and stuff that much. Um, so I was like, it'll be fine. And anytime my skin started to get really dry from it being cold, especially, or the eczema started to creep back in, then I would start using it again consistently every time I wash my hands. And that would make it go away. Like, I would start getting just a little bit of redness, and I can tell that the eczema was starting up again, but it hadn't gotten to the point of like cracking or itching or anything yet. And I would use the body butter consistently, and it would just go away. And it would never get to the point that it was at before. And so that was amazing. And I loved that it worked so well with such simple natural ingredients. And I've even used it on my daughter. She recently had, I don't know if it actually was eczema or not because I didn't take her to the doctor for it, but it looked like it could be, or it was just really bad dry skin when it was getting cold. Yes, it does do that in Texas sometimes, and it's miserable. But it was cold pretty consistently for a while, and she was getting really dry knuckles, and then like the whole back of her hand was raw and red and cracked, and it looked painful. And she didn't ever complain about it, but I was like, that can't be comfortable. And before that, it hadn't really occurred to me to use the body butter on her. Not because it's unsafe or anything, because it definitely is safe. You can even use it on babies. But just because her skin is already soft and seems moisturized on its own, it didn't occur to me to use it on her. But when that started happening, I gave her her own little tin of body butter and put it next to the sink and showed her how much to use. Like I said, just a little bit, and told her to put that on every time she washed her hands. And so she didn't take it with her to school or anything. She only used it when she washed her hands at home. And still, just using it that amount, it cleared up in like 3 days. And it was completely gone, which was amazing because they looked pretty bad. And so I was really excited that it worked really well for her too. And the funny thing is that I had asked, I had taken my son to the doctor for something, and while I was there, I was like, oh, by the way, does this look like eczema? And they're like, maybe it could be. They didn't really look that close, but um, I said that I had been thinking of trying body butter on it and seeing if that helped, and I told them what was in it. And they're like, oh, you have to be careful about using things that are like food, like the coconut oil, because you could be sensitive to it. And I was like, okay, that doesn't even make sense. They told me to use Aquaphor, which is Vaseline, basically. It's petroleum based, which is not good for your skin. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And so I gave her the body butter, and it worked in 3 days. And so I was like, interesting. I thought that it was not safe to use, but apparently it is. And so that's what I use for like putting on any kinds of burns or cuts, or like I have a little scar right here that I'm trying to, it's like slightly raised, and I'm trying to get that down a little bit because I have a neighbor who uses it on her keloid scars, which are raised scars, and hers are a lot bigger than this one. And she said that she hadn't found anything that helped with it, but since she started using the body butter, they've gotten a lot smaller, and some of them are like gone. And that blew my mind because I didn't even know it could do that. And so stuff like that, I'll use it on there. Like, I'm not allowed to say that it has any kind of medicinal properties or whatever, or that it can help with healing, but it does have vitamins and nutrients that are good for your skin that help your skin heal itself. And so that's really good. And it also tends to last longer on your skin than just regular lotion does. Just the way it absorbs versus lotion, which is water based, and sometimes ironically can make your skin end up more dry after. It just works a lot better. And so now I make it for myself and my family, and to sell it. And so if you guys want to check it out, or if you have any questions, you can check out crimsoncloveherbal.com. And there's a little chat button at the bottom. You can ask me any questions you have about anything. And you can also find me on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. You can look up either Crimson_Clove on Twitter, or the other ones are Crimson Clove Herbal. So come check me out. Thanks.